Thank you for listening, please like and subscribe. The Brotherhood of the Silent Blade, Chapter 5 The Shadow's Gambit. The forest was a symphony of silence, broken only by the faint rustle of leaves in the wind. The Brotherhood of the Silent Blade lay in wait, each member hidden among the dense shadows cast by ancient oaks. The torches of the king's convoy bobbed in the distance, their flickering light weaving through the trees like ghostly fireflies. Sir Aldric Lorne crouched low behind a moss-covered boulder, his sword resting on his knee. He could feel the anticipation in the air, heavy and electric. Malrik the Brotherhood's leader, moved like a phantom through the ranks. His sharp gaze assessed every man and woman under his command, his presence alone commanding focus. When his piercing blue eyes fell on Aldric, there was a flicker of something unspoken, approval, perhaps, or expectation. "This is our chance," Malrik said, his voice a low rumble that seemed to blend with the wind. "No survivors. No mercy. They'll learn that the shadows are ours." Aldric tightened his grip on his sword. His knuckles turned white as he recalled the faces of the knights who had betrayed him, the chains that had bound him, and the hollow eyes of the men who had condemned him to die. This was no longer about survival. It was about proving himself, to Malrik, to the Brotherhood, and to himself. Thane Varro slid into place beside Aldric, his ever-present smirk barely visible in the dim light. "You ready for your first proper ambush, knight? Or do you need me to hold your hand?" Aldric glanced at Thane, unimpressed. "Save your jokes. You'll need your breath for running." Thane chuckled softly. "Fair enough. Just try not to get yourself killed. Malrik hates cleaning up messes." Jory Kestrel, crouched nearby with a bow in hand, grinned. "Don't worry, Thane. If Aldric falls, I'll write a ballad about his bravery. The Fallen Knight of the Silent Blade. Has a nice ring to it, don't you think?" "Focus," Malrik's voice cut through their banter, sharp and cold. "They're coming." The convoy entered the trap slowly, the soldiers oblivious to the danger lurking in the shadows. Their torches cast an eerie glow, illuminating the weary faces of men who had likely marched for days. 2 wagons rolled at the center of the group, their contents hidden beneath heavy tarps. Aldric counted 24 soldiers in total, their armor gleaming faintly in the firelight. Malrik raised a hand, signaling the Brotherhood to hold. The tension was palpable, each heartbeat pounding like a war drum. Aldric felt his muscles coil, every fiber of his being ready to spring into action. Then, Malrik's hand dropped. The forest erupted into chaos. Arrows rained down from the trees, precise and deadly. The first wave of soldiers fell without a sound, their bodies crumpling to the dirt road. The survivors shouted in confusion, raising shields and drawing swords. The Brotherhood surged forward from the shadows, their blades gleaming in the torchlight. The clash of steel on steel echoed through the forest, mingling with cries of pain and shouts of alarm. Aldric charged into the fray, his sword slicing through the air with practiced precision. The first soldier he faced swung wildly, his movements panicked and uncoordinated. Aldric sidestepped the blow and brought his blade down in a single, clean arc. The man fell, his torch rolling away to extinguish itself in the dirt. To his left, Thane moved with the grace of a predator, his daggers finding gaps in armor with terrifying ease. He flashed Aldric a grin mid-fight, his expression alive with the thrill of battle. "Not bad for a knight," he called, ducking beneath a soldier's swing and driving a dagger into his side. Jory's arrows sang through the air, each one finding its mark. "Stay out of my line of fire, Aldric," he shouted. "I'd hate to have to put you down by accident." Aldric didn't respond. His focus was entirely on the fight. He parried a blow from a soldier and countered with a thrust that sent his opponent stumbling back. Around him, the Brotherhood moved like shadows given form, their precision and unity unmatched. But then, something caught Aldric's attention. Near the second wagon, a soldier broke away from the group, clutching a satchel tightly to his chest. He moved with purpose, his eyes scanning the chaos for an escape route. Aldric's instincts screamed that this man was more than a simple foot soldier. Without hesitation, Aldric broke from the main battle and gave chase. The soldier darted into the forest, his path erratic as he tried to lose Aldric among the trees. Branches whipped at Aldric's face, and roots threatened to trip him with every step, but he pressed on. His breath came in sharp bursts, his heartbeat thunderous in his ears. When the soldier stumbled over a root, Aldric seized his opportunity. He lunged, tackling the man to the ground. They struggled briefly, but Aldric's strength and training won out. He pinned the soldier and yanked the satchel from his grasp. Inside were documents bearing the royal seal. Aldric pressed the tip of his sword to the man's throat. "What are these?" he demanded. The soldier's eyes widened with fear. "Orders," he stammered. "From the king, troop movements, supply lines." Aldric's mind raced. This information could change everything. "You won't need these anymore," Aldric said coldly. With a quick strike of his sword hilt, he knocked the man unconscious. Grabbing the satchel, he turned back toward the battle. By the time Aldric returned, the fight was over. The Brotherhood had claimed victory, the remaining soldiers either dead or fleeing into the night. The wagons were being looted, their contents distributed among the group. Malrik stood near the center of the carnage, his icy gaze surveying the aftermath. When he saw Aldric approach, his expression shifted slightly, curiosity mixed with approval. "What took you so long?" Malrik asked. Aldric held up the satchel. "I thought this might be useful." Malrik opened it, his sharp eyes scanning the documents. A faint smile tugged at the corners of his lips. "Well done. This might actually be worth something." Thane appeared beside them, his daggers sheathed but his grin as sharp as ever. "Look at you, knight. First ambush, and you're already proving your worth. Maybe you'll survive after all." Aldric ignored him, his gaze fixed on the blood-soaked ground. Victory had been achieved, but it felt hollow. The faces of the fallen lingered in his mind, a stark reminder of the price of survival. As the Brotherhood melted back into the forest, their spoils in tow, Aldric couldn't shake the weight of the satchel in his hands. The documents inside were more than just intelligence, they were a symbol of the game he was now playing. A game where every move had consequences, and trust was a luxury he could no longer afford. The shadows had become his allies, but they were fickle and unrelenting. And as the Brotherhood vanished into the night, Aldric knew that the hardest battles were yet to come. Thank you for listening, please like and subscribe.